Harrison. Inside roll. Dixon scores.
Playing a shift to Obang and crashing in front.
There's Ray. Scores.
As dirty as they come, Jordan Dursey gets his first to the President's Cup. Picked it up. Goldface scores on the run. Wade will set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores. Short side. Bushi. Shot scores. It's a 1-goal game. Gets it back. He'll shoot it. He scores. Big save. Cliche. Scores. And we're tied.
Welcome back inside the Ladner Leisure Center, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to BC Sports TV. Tino Farah, Teddy Jenner here, just about to get you set for the fourth game of the day here in the President's Cup. And before we get too far, let's tell you about our friends over at CoolBet. Embrace the unexpected with CoolBet, the official sportsbook of the 2024 President's Cup. Check out the upcoming games for the President's Cup at coolbet.com and dive into the action today with the best odds in lacrosse. Gambling can be addictive. CoolBet. Stay cool.
Bet responsibly, people.
There
There are your lines for today's game. Standing Buffalo, the slight favorite over the Victoria Shamrocks. If I was a betting man on this game, hammer the Rocks. 2-goal spread. The overs keep climbing. Now we're at 17.5. This is two teams that have yet to win a game in this tournament, both 0-2. Earlier in the day, the Fighting Sioux without Shatler, Evans, and Dixon, only able to find 1 goal in their game against Edmonton, lost 14-1. And then the Victoria Shamrocks had a fantastic game earlier today, just a few hours ago actually, and 11-9 loss to Snake Island. They were up late in the second. Snake Island came back, and Victoria tried to make a comeback in the third, but unfortunately for Tim Dennett and his crew, still looking for their first win ever in the President's Cup, Tino.
And we did get an update on the backup goaltender for the Standing Buffalo. I know you love to say his last name, so I'll let you provide.
Teddy Now you got me on. Teddy Uzichapete left the game after taking a shot from Bergloff in that opening game, and I was told that he had a broken collarbone and walked across the street pretty much to the hospital. It's right beside the Ladner Leisure Center. And I'm being told that he is still backing up tonight. He probably won't go in, but they needed to have a backup goalie on the bench. So the kid said, yeah, I'm on enough injections.
Let's hope he doesn't have to come in.
Yeah, but it could, but that we kind of talking with Jake, that could mean it could be an even longer tournament for Frank Giuliano. And good thing it happened now. They're playing there 2 a day.
No kidding. We will step aside for the time being. It's time for some anthems here, and we'll get you set in just a moment. I'll say it. That was a pretty good anthem.
One of the best ones yet.
Pretty good rendition of the anthem. Welcome back inside the Ladner Leisure Center here, ladies and gentlemen. Just moments away from the start of our 4th game of the day. Victorious Shamrocks 0-2, taking on the also 0-2 Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux. And I just want to get this in right off the bat here, Teddy.
Get it in.
I did see a message on Twitter that said something about, it was asking if we can remove the netting in front of where we are seated, because it is a little annoying to watch. I do understand, but no, that is above our pay grade. Unless, Teddy, you do want to venture out and try to remove the netting. But
nah, I'm good.
Now.
It keeps us safe, you know?
It does keep us safe.
It keeps everyone safe.
But we'll try with our state-of-the-art multi-camera broadcast here at BC Sports TV. We'll try to create some extra angles.
We got a satellite feed, don't we?
Something like that. Starting goaltenders here for Victoria. We'll start off. It'll be Number 33, Colin Jeffrey, comes into this one with a .751 save percentage and a goals against average of 45 in some limited action here.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
he went early in that first game and got pulled for Cody Cook, so he's looking to rebound here tonight.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he will do exactly that as we go across the floor, looking at Frank Chiliano, a .694 save percentage and a 15.25 goals against average. Again, I mentioned it during the game this morning for the Fighting Sioux. Kind of feels weird to say it was a strong game for Chiliano when it was a 15-1 loss, but I still think he played relatively well, especially considering he had to leave, or he left the game, got brought back in due to the injury, and looked pretty strong, I would say.
I think that ball got stuck under the turf here inside the Ladner Leisure Center, so we'll redo the draw, and I'm looking forward to this draw between all game long, this matchup, Hermson and McKenzie. Fun fact, Matt Hermson was my captain last year with the Junior Bees.
Made a run to the Founders Cup. Something they did again for back-to-back years. Pretty impressive.
After not being there for 70-odd.
Not too shabby. As the loose ball battle continues, might this go under the turf again? No. Fighting Sioux will come up with it again. If you want to get interactive on the stream, I'll finish that thought in a moment because Byrne picks off the pass. He'll go in alone. There's that move again we saw earlier. And then that little shovel shot on target. Chiliano's got his first save of the game. If you do want to be interactive with the stream, you can hit us up on Twitter at Teddy Jenner, at Ferratino, or at BC Sports TV. As Sean Evans winds, fires and scores. Second goal of the tournament for Sean Evans. And that's a better start for the Sioux.
And unfortunate for Colin Jeffrey, a little bit more of the same from game one. But not much you can do when Sean Evans has time and room. He was able to get past the check of Davis McCulley, planted his feet, and goes far side, low under the glove, right above the toe. And Evie's got the Fighting Sioux on the board early, just 51 seconds in. We saw a goal 12 seconds in the last game, and this one still within that first minute.
A much better start here for the Sioux with a little extra jump in their step. But there's a face-off win for Hermson, and he sends his team into the offensive zone quickly. Maybe their first settled offensive set here is their last one coming from the stick of David Byrne.
Had a great game that game earlier today. Had a few chances in transition, buried one, but you're right, he likes to pull that stop-and-go move to get past his defenders.
Got to say, one of my favorite moves in all of lacrosse, I would say. So subtle.
When they pull the string like that?
I love it. Loose ball battle goes in front of the Victoria bench, and they will collect. Back-to-back sets here, something to build off of.
Bad news, Tino.
Neck fan's dead?
Neck fan died.
Oh, good thing you only got this game left. Scolia comes around a screen shot. Caught a piece of the arm of Chiliano. They get their reset. Fresh 30 now for the Shamrocks. Shot from distance, another one swallowed by Chiliano, and he settled in quite nicely here.
Roddy Wade had a big game in the first game of the tournament for the Victoria Shamrocks. Only tallied one in this morning's game, but he is a crafty player, off ball, and can get shots off from anywhere. So can this guy.
As Evans shovels one. How about that for Sean Evans? How did he get that one on target?
How? He's Sean Evans. I literally just said he can shoot it from anywhere and will. And you know, after watching his team take that loss on the chin this morning, the big three of Dixon, Schattler, and Evans are going to, no. Hey, Georgie, take it back. All right.
That's he's cameraman extraordinaire, George Parra, for a reason.
Gives me his OnlyFans.
And the Sioux will go right back to work here following a face-off violation. It'll be Jeff Schattler. Another one of those scratches goes over to the other one, and Curtis Dixon over top returns now over to the far side. Schattler with the one-hand dish through the middle was deflected by a defender. Jeremy Benson works on him. Schattler keeps after it. Dixon somehow gets it. A twister stopped by Colin Jeffrey. There's a good rebound save for the Victoria netminder.
That's a big save for Colin Jeffrey and this Victoria team, just to slow the tempo down of this Fighting Sioux club, who scored in their first couple of shots in this game.
It was a strong start for Victoria in their first game of the day. It was just a slower finish. They'll look for A little bit better there. That shot goes off the iron. Rebound falls in front of the Fighting Sioux bench. Still up for grabs here. Eventually collected by Johnson in a big collision. And let's see if we can get another look at that one here on the replay on BC Sports TV. There's the ricochet as it falls towards the bench. And just a huge collision there. And that will put Victoria on the power play for the first time this game.
What a hit from Chris Sokolowski, but took about 4 too many steps trying to run over Parker Johnson. And a great opportunity here for Victoria in the power.
What do we say off air? Got to set the tone?
Set the tone early.
There's a shot and a goal, and Victoria answers right back. Brody Wade finds his 6th goal of the tournament.
He's getting up there for the tournament lead in goals. But again, you can't let this Victoria power play give them too many options. And, you know, it's not the start they wanted, being down 0-2, being down, 0-2 in the standings. But this is a good young lacrosse team. They still only have about 7 guys that were in junior last year, so they're still sort of coming up the ranks in Senior B, but they have some talent to do some damage, and a nice start early on the power.
Nice battle there. As you mentioned, going to be all game between Hermson and Jordan McKenzie. Hermson lost a stick, lost a mitt as well, gets himself onto the bench, but his team gets into the offensive zone, and they'll work it over to the far side first. A couple of bodies fall. Driving through, getting a shot off was Jack Bowie.
And the one thing we've seen from teams that have played this Victoria club so far in this tournament, they like to be heavy and physical on this younger club and try to intimidate them. And we saw with that early hit from Sokolowski, they just continually want to remind this young team that every time there's a ball on the turf or every time you're holding it, we're coming.
Best thing this Victoria team can do is, of course you want to stand up for yourself, but move your feet, stay out of the box, because your power play has proven to be a little bit lethal here. Let them go to work. There's a shot, an awkward save by Chiliano, but a save nonetheless. Rebound falls on top of the crease, and the Sioux will escape.
It took a bit of a funny bounce there on Frankie. Had the stick going one way. Luckily, it hit him in the leg pad.
Here's Curtis Dixon. Nice move to get over top. Fake shot, now over to the far side through the middle. Shot off the post. Almost a 3-1 lead, but the goaltender's best friend gets a save. Now Stevens switches hands, gets a bouncer on target. Chiliano looked like he didn't know where it was, but he did make the save, and Victoria collects the loose ball.
Crafty from Ari Stevens, switching hands. Not something you see too often in the indoor game, unless, of course, like Tom Schreiber's playing or something like that.
Someone who's good at it?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not good at it. He got a shot off.
Pretty good shot at that. High percentage. And that one floats up the floor. Sioux escape the zone once again. Sean Evans absorbs a couple of whacks. Tries to sell a call here as he dips with his head. He switched hands for a moment. Gets back to his strong hand. Looking top left. Just misses. Loose ball available. The shot clock goes down under 10 seconds. Loose ball battle goes in the corner.
And Victoria wise just to muck this and let the shot clock wind down.
This young team with a veteran play there. Now getting back over center. Going to let their offense go to work. His first to touch is Adam Golia.
Bit of a Senior B veteran on this club.
Takes some space on the pick and roll. Shoots. Just misses, and just misses a teammate waiting behind the net as well. They keep possession as the shot clock winds down under 10 seconds. Drop pass, Wade keeps after it. Driving low, a backhand one towards the net. Tough angle, and Chiliano will step out of his crease.
This is a good start for the Fighting Sioux. Obviously, Victoria's settled in, but Frankie's looked strong. 6 saves on 7 shots.
Not a bad stat line to this point as Sean Evans waits for a screen. Wanted the flip pass to Dixon, who had his stick held up. No call, loose ball taken away, and here come the Shamrocks. Going in alone, here's Benson, stopped, rebound available, get another shot off and another save. They get another rebound. There's a bounce shot, short side wide.
Good foray there for the Shamrocks as both Benson and Ari Stevens get chances on Frankie, but the big man just does what he does best, and that's stop balls.
String of saves in a row for Chiliano, and might have to make another one here as that lob pass in transition, looking for Byrne. Finds him with Evans on his back. Byrne spins back. Fake shot. Scores! There's that move again, but this time it's a full spin as David Byrne receives that beautiful pass from Colin Jeffrey and fires it home.
I've been around the game a long time, Tino. Not sure I've ever seen anyone stop and do a 360 and then pat the guy who was chasing him on the back and say, hey, nice try.
I don't know if, were you a Mighty Ducks guy growing up?
Sure was. Well, kind of.
There was
remember it.
Luis Mendoza, the fastest kid on the team.
Yeah, couldn't stop.
Couldn't stop. Finally, he stops in a game, looks up surprised,
Yeah.
and then just places it in the net. That's kind of what that goal felt like a little bit.
I'm Luis Mendoza on skates.
We love a Mighty Ducks reference. Here come the Sioux. After Victoria tied the game, they went down 2-0 early.
And it's going to be a big confidence boost for Colin Jeffrey in between the pipes. He gave up the first two on the first two shots, and he settled in, made some nice saves, allowed his team to get back in this. Now they're all back to even.
A good defensive rebound for Victoria here as well after those two early goals from Sean Evans, including that unbelievable shovel one. There's a one-timer stopped by Chiliano as he stepped across to his left.
Good look for Jackson Boyd. But Frank equal to the task.
As Le Swiss leads for Sean Evans, already on hat-trick watch here as the lone goal scorer for the Sioux. He'll come around the screen, set by Dixon. Flip pass just out of his reach. He'll battle for the loose ball as bodies fall, but eventually Victoria comes up with it. Jeremy Benson with a full head of steam. He's got a lane to the net if he wants it. He does, and Chiliano makes the stop.
Yeah, that's one thing Victoria's got in spades, and that's young, youthful legs that love to run. And it's one thing they might be able to catch this standing Buffalo team is in that transition game, as they'll run constantly all night. And we've seen a lot of opportunities already.
Here's another one as Golia looking low, far side. Chiliano swallows that, no rebound available. And he's rebounded pretty well himself after the last two straight from the Shamrocks.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Frankie too many times on the run without making a stick fake. Got to keep going across the front of the net, get him moving, and then keep running and put it past him.
Chiliano, of course, coming off his first season with the Saskatchewan Rush. That one from Sean Evans just missed. There's the toe drag spinning back. Another shoveler short side wide, but that didn't miss by much either.
I don't want to say he's throwing junk because he knows exactly what he's doing. Sean Evans has made many a goaltender look foolish with his offensive wizardry and skill set.
There's a fake flip. Boyd now does flip. There's a diving shot. Chiliano gets across to deny Jack Bowie of what would have been his second of the tournament.
Yeah, nice pick and roll between Boyd and Bowie, former Victoria Junior and Nanaimo Shamrocks respectively.
Pick and roll that would make a lot of minor lacrosse coaches smile.
Heck, make a lot of pro coaches smile.
That's for sure.
Kurt Malowski's in the house, maybe he's smiling. Not often.
Former coach of Curtis Dixon, currently with possession, somehow keeping it, takes a high stick, no call there as the ball gets knocked loose. Shovel feed over to Schattler, fires one towards the goal, and Jeffrey gets over just in time.
I know you said Favreau had some of the fastest hands in the West from the Coquitlam Juniors. Jeff Schattler still has some of the fastest hands in all of lacrosse.
Maybe someone that Ryan Favreau looked up to.
It's possible.
It's plausible.
I don't think he was cheering for a Shamrock too often.
As we'll get a break here, just under 10 minutes remaining here in the first frame.
You got new ad reads, Tino?
Yeah, one new ad read. We'll get there. Some exciting stuff on the horizon. Lots to look forward to. Extreme Threads is the official uniform supplier for the WLA and teams around the world. Your one-stop shop for customized team or company apparel, embroidery, screen printing, sublimated uniforms, and more. Check them out online, extremethreads.ca.
The Haudenosaunee announced their roster for the World Championships, Tino.
Go on.
Dahoka, Lyle, Cody, Randy, Zed, Tarbo, Ron John, Sundown, Eli McLaughlin, Adam Bomberry, Nongo Thompson, Brooker Muir, who's here, Justin Thompson, Hogarth, Trey Deer, might have heard of him. Colton Marquette, might have heard of him. Dougie Jameson and Warren Hill between the pipes. That is a stacked roster.
Good for Trey Deer making that roster. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's a future of their program. Definitely want to get him into a tournament like that at a high stage after coming off a very successful Minto.
There's a shot off the body. David Byrne, excuse me. And I got to say, just while we're on the topic of Trey Deer, that was my first opportunity to watch him live.
Me too.
If you haven't had a chance to watch him, you absolutely must watch Lacrosse. That kid is electric and has, to say he's got a bright future, it might be the understatement of the year.
Yeah. Captain obvious even.
I'll take that title. Back to the action we'll go. So the Sioux get a reset. Here's Sean Evans working with Dixon. So he'll feed it down to the corner. Dixon shopping through the middle. Finds Schattler, floats one. Far side low, just off the mark, and the Shamrocks come up with it. Got to break free of a little pressure from Evans. They do so as Jeremy Benson's going to go the other way. They got numbers if they hurry. Benson winds, fires. Might have caught a piece of the bar as that goes out of play.
Good look for the Sheriff in transition. Would have liked him seen him hold that up as he had Parker Johnson coming late as the fourth man in transition. But a good shot and a reset here for Victoria.
And the Shamrocks didn't have enough guys on the floor. We get a quick stoppage here. And now we'll get back to the action. Far side feed. Johnson spins back, gets the screen from Wade, has room, fires, scores! A perfectly played shot on a perfectly played two-man game, and Parker Johnson finds the back of the net.
Making a house call, Parker Johnson. Little outside twister to the far corner. That's a crafty shot from the young man. And now the Fighting Sioux find themselves trailing from behind. But watch the shot from the goal cam. That's Cody Jamieson-esque kind of twister from deep.
Yeah,
what are you
it
laughing
was.
about?
It was. Your comparisons this game have been incredible.
Thank you.
Even with the distracting net in front of the booth.
Well, it is my third game of the day. I'm in peak performance right now. Oh, there's a heavy slash.
No call. That one's going to hurt a little extra in the morning, especially in the second game of the day for these Shamrocks.
Talked to a bunch of Victoria guys after their game yesterday. And again, a lot of these guys have never been to a situation like this. They all realize they got to put more padding on.
A little extra never hurts here as Golia gets the flip pass down low. Far side feed shot as McCulley. Did that get a piece of Chiliano? No, cleanly out of play off the bounce. And now the Sioux look to answer back and try to tie this game.
McCulley's mother, sister, and brother are in the house. Brad McCulley taking some time off with Clark Pickup to come over here and watch the Senior Bees before heading to the man.
Pass finds its way through the middle. They get a shot off and score. There's the answer. Tied once again. I believe that was Adam Saunders. And a little bit of foreshadowing here, Teddy. If I'm not mistaken, he is a user of a head from the Good Stick Co. And they might be our new ad read.
They should really sponsor us. That's just an unfortunate one for the Victoria Shamrocks. Great job by Adam Saunders to find that loose ball and take advantage. But defenders just kind of looking around, not clamping, not finding that loose ball. And I thought Colin Jeffrey probably might have been able to hop out and grab that one. But unfortunately for him and his teammates, tied at 3 now.
So Victoria leading in the shots department, 15-6. That one, however, goes wide. It's not going to count in that statistic. They do keep possession still with about 18 left on the shot clock. There's one on target. Chiliano gets enough of it with his stick, and he'll look up quickly in transition. Falling one to Brandon Murphy. Get away from some pressure.
Job there from Matt Perry. Careful in the change boxes, everybody.
There's Evans with a pass intended for Dixon. Might have just handcuffed him a little bit. Goes off the far side corner boards, and here come the Shamrocks with wheels again and numbers. Pass through the middle. Great catch, though, from Schattler. Reverse transition takes away an opportunity and sends it up the other way himself.
Oh, he's so slick with it as Jeff Schattler. Just knew what was happening, knew the D guy was on his wrong side and was going to pass it, and just said thank you very much.
Now Sean Evans faking that drive. Dixon had the stick ripped out of his hands. No call again. Rebound ricochets off of a Victoria defender as Dixon has a couple extra words for the official, and I don't blame him on that one either.
It's generally pretty obvious when a guy's holding your stick when he literally rips it out of your hands right in front of the official. But no call from Nate Chason.
And now here comes Boyd for the Shamrocks. 15 on the shot clock. Gets away from a slash, sends it over to the far side. Wade behind the net. Skip feed back to Golia near side. Under 10 to shoot. Driving downhill. Shot and a save by Chiliano. Another stick got launched in the air.
Wet gloves, second games of the day for both these clubs.
A little extra slick out there, we'll say. As Schattler, his feet look glued to the floor. Now they move. So he sends it to the near side. Pass through the middle. A good stick check, though, by a Victoria defender to negate that chance. Schattler keeps after it. 3 to shoot. Pass over to the near side. Dixon scores! How did he get that one off in time? A couple of bodies in front of him and still found a way to thread the needle.
Jake Elliott asked me the same question during the Fighting Sioux game yesterday. How did Curtis Dixon score that? My answer, because he's Curtis Dixon. And this is just a floated pass, catching Dixon on a dead sprint as the shot clock winds down. And he does a great job just kind of slow his feet up and score that. But cylinder rule, maybe? Who knows?
You think there's crease rules in this tournament?
Allegedly.
And they'll get possession back as the Sioux reclaim the lead for the first time in a while here. They had it early after the 2 straight goals from this man right here, Sean Evans. He gets a flip pass through. They get a shot off and a save by Colin Jeffrey. That's a good answer back again from the Victoria netminder. And here come the Shamrocks the other way.
Captain Zach Christensen, son of former Shamrock player, coach, and WLA referee Walt Christensen.
There's a shot and a goal. Another answer back as the goals continue to roll through. This time it's Kyle Drouin.
Maybe the Cool Bet Polar Bears know what they're doing, as they keep raising the over and under in these games, and they keep paying off. And it's Drouin running in transition again. Hard off from the defense, hard on from the forwards. Great look in transition, and he bounces this one past Frankie far side. This is a great shot. With the 5-hole, the far side.
Doesn't even really cradle it, too. I think that's the most impressive part to me. It's kind of all in one motion. He receives it, gets it over to his proper hand, and fires that one home past Chiliano. The high-scoring first periods have kind of ramped up as we've gone through the day here. Now up to 8 goals in total.
I was just looking across at the Fighting Sioux bench where their players are at the tunnel, and saw Teddy Uzichpa throw his arm up to say, "What you doing, ref?" and then immediately realized he's got a broken collarbone. He's like, "Ow!"
Yeah, fair enough. Victoria keeps after it. There's a nice save by Chiliano, dropping down to one knee. Still getting enough of it with his chest. Fresh 30 for the Shamrocks. Driving downhill. Morrison with a shot. Chiliano with another save, and now we'll get an interference call negating what would have been another reset for the Shamrocks. Instead, they give it back to the Sioux.
Yeah, Brody Wade a little too aggressive there trying to find that loose ball. Just push his man right to the ground. Easy call for the officials.
Here's Sean Evans. Waiting for a screen. He'll send it over to the far side. Schattler returns to Evans. Curtis Dixon is parked behind the net. Evans, nice move, nice shot, nice goal! Making a first period hat trick for Sean Evans.
Now, you might be wondering, Curtis Dixon, one of the best players in the world, what's he doing standing behind the net? Well, Sean Evans is feeling it. And why not isolate him on an island against Greg Simpson, who just unable to keep up with the quick first step of Sean Evans. And he's done that to some of the best defenders in the world, and then blows it right past Colin Jeffrey for his third. And he's got 3 of 5. And Fighting Sioux only have 9 shots on target.
Yeah, that's not going to help the current stat line for Colin Jeffrey. He's had a few nice saves in this period, but a few more have got past him. There's a shot and another. Speaking of nice saves from Chiliano, that one goes into his crest. And Victoria going to head to the sin bin here on a slashing call.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have blown it dead, as the Fighting Sioux had possession, would have been able to go 6-on-5, but after Davis McCulley got pushed into the inboards after the shot, he gave a friendly chop to Brandon Clellan. Probably gave him one before that, so referees generally call a retaliation.
Now first opportunity on the power play for the standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux to go to work. And I mean, you look at those top three right there, Sean Evans, Curtis Dixon, Jeff Shatler. That is an all-star power play. Shatler gets the one-timer off and a beautiful foot save by Colin Jeffrey. How are you?
Yeah, just kind of trying to create space for those top three guys. As Evans heat check. Nice save by Jeffrey, got a man up the floor.
And they send it up to him. Quickly is Christensen with a twister, and Chiliano gets enough of it. He's going to come out of his crease to try to collect the loose ball himself. Not necessary, though, as that one got flipped over to Curtis Dixon, waiting for it near side.
Great job by Curtis Dixon sprinting back to catch the fleet-footed Christensen and just kind of throw him off his stride and pace on that breakaway chance.
Now Dixon going to run quarterback, a blind backhand feed, and give Sean Evans 4. Unbelievable here.
Might want to change the game plan, Mr. Dennett. Big fan of you, but he's got 4 of 6, and I think he's probably 4 of 6 shooting already here tonight. And Pete Dubinsky played the earlier game, so I'm not sure how quickly they want to go to him if they do, but Colin Jeffrey just, again, being welcome to this tournament, and Sean Evans is letting him know why he's going to be a Hall of Famer very soon.
And we repeat, 4 goals for Sean Evans, 4 of the 6 for the Fighting Sioux.
Hermson winning another draw.
Gets a rough ride into the boards, but helps himself back onto the bench after earning his team another possession here.
Big possession here for Victoria. They've done a good job fighting back in this game, but can't allow Standing Buffalo to get much further ahead.
Benson with a shot, looking 7-hole on Chiliano.
What's the 7-hole, Tino?
I believe it's between the arm and the body.
There you go.
Thank you. That pass to Cleland was just off the mark. Jeffrey will reach forward himself, initiate a little transition here with 2.5 remaining in the first period. I can thank John Garrett for teaching me what the 7-hole is.
Legend. We've had a Tom Larscheid reference. We've had a John Garrett reference.
Had a Mighty Ducks reference. Here's Golia looking for a reference as well, but we'll say that one went wide. No shot, no reset.
Really?
Don't know if I agree with it, but that is the call on the floor. Loose ball battle ensues, and the Fighting Sioux will come up with it. Officially 2 minutes remaining now in the first period.
Job there by Sokolowski under pressure to find that loose ball and get it up the floor away from trouble. Been really impressed with him and Toporowski in this tournament.
Sean Evans takes some space created by Curtis Dixon. Looks for a little bit more as that Sean Evans bid goes just wide. I wonder how quickly we could get some cool bet odds on a Sean Evans first period sock trick.
Wow, time's running out. But a sock trick in this game, yeah.
Feels like a safe bet. As the Shamrocks look to answer back themselves. Fake shot back to the point. Boyd over to the far side. Parker Johnson sends it to the corner. Near side return back to Boyd. That one floats well wide. Chiliano will take it off the ricochet. He's got a man up to play, and Cleland can't take it cleanly. Keeps after it, though. One hand on his stick. Dragged down, gets a shot off. Oh, my goodness. How in the world, as a goaltender, are you supposed to prepare for some of these shots when they're just coming from every unthinkable angle?
That was a great shot by the dog.
It was a heavy one, falling backwards with one hand. Pretty unbelievable. There's a nice pass. Golia looking for one. He's had some chances in this period, but has not been able to find the back of the net. Now a stretch feed up to Evans. 40 seconds remain here in the first period. Victoria will take it back. Here's Benson. Evans will slowly get back onto the bench to get the last remaining Fighting Sioux defender. Pass was just off the mark, still up for grabs.
And the Sioux will call timeout, and I am a Victoria guy, so sometimes I will be a little overcritical of this young team. And I think when they first get that possession, they probably want to go down and take that early shot, get the reset, give it to the Fighting Sioux, and then you're most likely playing for final possession. But now you keep your offense out there, you take a shot, you give it the ball, and now the Fighting Sioux get a chance for the final possession. Just some game management stuff that I'd like to see Tim Dennett and Tyson Lyons be a little more mindful. In the first 2 games, they've had chances to call timeouts for last possession, and they haven't done it. And it's just, everyone's kind of learning at this stage for this team. So just some game management stuff, but they're still in this down 2, and they'll be happy if they can get out of here with just a 2-goal advantage. But expect a lot from Evans, Dixon, and Schattler here.
Absolutely, and just waiting to see if Chiliano is going to stay on the bench. And it looks like he will. The Sioux are going to go 6-on-5. But a defensive stop here for the Shamrocks could be huge for morale. Heading into the intermission, just down by 2. As Sean Evans currently with possession, shares a conversation with the official, nice and casual, as he looks on, awaiting his 5th goal of the game already. Clock goes down under 10 seconds. Down to 7. Now they'll start their motion. There's the room available. Evans fake. Pass goes across. What a save by Colin Jeffrey.
10 Beller from Colin Jeffrey to deny Schattler on the one-timer.
Let's take another look at that one here, shall we? They got the look they wanted. All kinds of room available here for Sean Evans. He sends the pass across, and Jeffrey gets over in time, read it perfectly. Here's the angle we want. Right across. Oh, my goodness. He got it with his stick. Then the last-second bid towards the empty net. But we've seen some highlight reel goals in that period, some highlight reel plays, but that one's certainly up there for highlight of the period. And a good opportunity here to take a little breather. We're going to step aside for the next 10 or so minutes. Tino Farah, Teddy Jenner here on the call for BC Sports TV. You're watching the 2024 President's Cup.
Embrace the unexpected. Cool Bet.
Ray,
What a look.
Davidson, inside roll, Dixon, scores.
Cleaner shift to O'Bang and crash.
There's Ray, scores.
As dirty as they come, Jordan Dursey gets his first of the President's Cup, picks it up. Goldface scores on the run. Wade'll set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores, short side. Bushi, shot scores, it's a 1-goal game. Gets it back, he'll shoot it, he scores. Big save. Scores, and we're tied.
We've had great fans. It's really motivating for our guys. We want to put on a good product on the floor for the fans that are going to come here and spend their hard-earned money.
And as Martel slips it 5-hole. And his ball again down the middle. How did he hang on to that? Scores! Keegan Ball!
It's what they did in that room that turned the season around. I don't think we make that run without the support of the fans.
Here's Sean Beatties! And he scores!
What does it mean to be Canadian? It's toughness. It's grit. You know who bears the red and white You know the history. You know the storylines. And you know its weight. I've been there. I know what it takes. It's preparation for domination. It's the brotherhood so you could. It's long nights and longer days. That separates the good from the greats. This is Canada.
That's fresh.
Ray,
Oh, what a look.
Davidson, inside roll, Dixon, Scarce. Cleaner shift to Obang, crashing in front. There's Ray, Scarce.
As dirty as they come, Jordan Durfee gets his first to the President's Cup. Picks it up. Goal face scores on the run. Wade will set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores. Short side. Bushi. Shot scores. It's a 1-goal game. Gets it back. He'll shoot and he scores. They save. Cliche. Scores. And we're tied.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, dare I say we are back. We are so back, I'll say. Tino Farah, Teddy Jenner here on the call. And before we get too far into the start of the second period, let's tell you all about the newest advertiser here on BC Sports TV that I foreshadowed a little bit there in the first period. The Good Stick Co.
Hey!
Sticks made locally in the Czech Republic and sold for unbeatable prices throughout Europe. Good Sticks are suitable for every level of play and can be seen in action on this very floor. Discounts on bulk orders. Get a couple of Good Sticks today. thegoodstick.co.
I heard you got a couple of good sticks today.
I got a couple of heads. I was given a shaft. Shout out to Peter beside us here, running producer.
Well, I guess I'll just wait.
I keep waiting.
I'll keep waiting. All right, noted.
We are just about to get underway here for the start of the second period. It is the Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux leading 6-4 over the Victoria Shamrocks through 20 minutes of action. In case you missed it, Sean Evans with 4 of those 6 goals. The remaining 2 scored by Curtis Dixon and a user of the Good Stick, Adam Saunders. Meanwhile, the goal scorers for the Shamrocks, Parker Johnson, Kyle Drouin, Brody Wade, and David Byrne. Shamrocks with the first shot of the period. Chiliano with the first save of the period. And loose ball battle will ensue behind the net. Couple of whacks. And I don't know if they were fully aware that the ball started to go the other way. Now they are, as the Fighting Sioux get back into the offensive zone. Schattler with a lob pass in front of the penalty boxes. And he'll now float his way into the offensive zone as Sean Evans gets back out onto the floor, as does Curtis Dixon. Pass through, gets off a backhand shot. What a goal! Another highlight reel tally for the Fighting Sioux.
And this is 21 Lyndon Cups playing his first game of the tournament. And this one will be one he remembers for a long, long time. And sometimes when you play with guys of the quality of a Schattler, an Evans, or a Dixon, you see what they're doing. It's kind of contagious, Tino. And that's he's been watching those guys a little bit. That's a heck of a finish.
I'm a sucker for those bouncers that go top corner. As that face-off battle goes off the stick of Cleland, off the boards in front of the Victoria bench. And Standing Buffalo will earn possession once again. Their largest lead of the game here, up to 3. As Sean Evans, muscling his way into his defender, finds some room, a low shot, stopped by Colin Jeffrey. And the Sioux get possession off the reset. Pass through, Dixon waved at it, didn't quite have the ball. Loose ball now collected as they keep after it. Pass went across off the mark, and here come the Shamrocks. Here's the captain, Christensen. Finds the trailer, and Johnson, that one absorbed by Chiliano. He'll get the whistle and quickly send it up.
Yeah, could have gone one more to David Byrne on the backside crease, but a good look there for Parker Johnson. And that's what Victoria's going to have to do. They're going to have to start that running transition game again that had them working so well in the first.
Now Brandon Murphy fakes the flip, takes the shot, just missed wide. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Here's Dixon, gets the screen. Another heavy one set. Slow to get up here is Dylan Raymond.
Yeah, that one stung a bit, the big man.
Slow to get up, back towards the bench now. Looks like he'll be all right. He has a quick word with the trainer with his team getting back into the offensive zone. Here's Golia. Back to the outside. Now Johnson with it again, backpedaling away, flips one over to Wade, couldn't quite get the handle. Chiliano can. Here come the Sioux. It's Brandon Cleland. He'll leave for Lyndon Cups, the latest goal scorer here for Standing Buffalo. Sends it over to Sean Evans. Evans, time and space, shot. Now Victoria has a man up the play, and Jeffrey decides to go near side with a breakout pass to his captain.
They had David Byrne breaking, but Colin Jeffrey couldn't get it out of his stick in time, so made the right play, making the short outlet pass.
I think at this point, the way that David Byrne's been playing in this tournament in transition, I think they just feed him as much as they can here. Low shot and a save by Chiliano. There's a stretch feed all the way up the floor. Now they got numbers. Sean Evans off the bench. Over to Curtis Dixon. Finds far side instead. And Jeffrey gets a shoulder across.
Denying Brandon Murphy with a solid save is the Sioux starting to show some running legs.
Now Benson hits a trailer. Shot just wide. No save necessary that time for Chiliano. Here come the Sioux once again. Spin back and wait for some help. The help does come in Sean Evans, a bouncer over to the far side. Trying to work off the crossbar. How about that? We've seen some crazy goals. That one would have been another one. Just a perfectly placed shot goes off the bar, and the Sioux keep possession now. Toporowski lost it for a moment.
Sean Evans screaming, pull the ball out. And yet he's standing at center. Love him.
I think he wants it back now. The plan was to get it to him, but the ball fell out of the stick of Adam Saunders. Now lost his stick as Benson goes the other way. Thought we were going to see another backhanded shovel shot there.
Benson took a slash right on the leg, and it kind of slowed him up in the transition break. Couldn't get the full horsepower going, and it was because of slash, and the penalty's going to be coming.
Now Golia stumbles, gets back to his feet, keeps possession.
Good composure.
Jeffrey onto the bench, 6-on-5 here on the delayed call. Now here's Parker Johnson. Back to the point, heavy shot, blocked. Rebound fell to Wade. But the clock had expired, and Victoria will go back to the man advantage.
1 for 1 so far on the power play are the Shamrocks. And again, if you're going to get given gifts and send on the power play at this tournament, you have to take advantage and you have to score goals. And Parker Johnson will set it up. Got a good shooters in Golia and Wade. And if they can get this defense moving, they should have looks, but more importantly, got to get Frank Chiliano moving.
And it is Parker Johnson that will run point here on the power play. Golia wanted to send it back up to him, couldn't get it through. Now near side feed, now back to the point. It's Johnson, back pedals, underhand feed. Golia shot, stopped by the stick of Chiliano. He got sent into the end boards, taking away his opportunity to pick up the rebound, and here come the Sioux. Evans stumbles, the turf monster. Got the better of that.
Original 16 sniper out there.
And
unlucky for Evie.
and here comes Victoria. Just about a quarter of the way through, or a little over a quarter through their power play. Johnson back at the point. Backhand feed near side. Wade stopped by the glove of Chiliano. Rebound goes over to the far side, collected by the Shamrocks. Fresh 30. They get their reset. Wade back to the point. Johnson. Far side again. Back to Johnson. Sidearm rip. Stopped by Chiliano, and he'll hang on to the rebound.
Victoria's crease guys got to do a better job of finding passing lanes. They cannot sit behind defenders.
Now a shorthanded opportunity here for Standing Buffalo. Dixon was awaiting that pass in front of his bench. He got it and sends it down to Sean Evans.
How about this three-man unit, Tino?
Sean Evans, Curtis Dixon, Jeff Schattler. As Dixon sets a heavy screen, and he's going to get a penalty for this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Curtis Dixon. And he's had a lot of words for these officials. And that time Nate Chason had had enough.
Dixon certainly taking a couple of those hard screens in this game himself. I think that's probably why we're seeing some frustration there. He sets one and gets sent to the sin bin.
No superstar treatment at the Prezzies. Got to score here 5-on-3.
Now Golia gets the latest shot on target. Chiliano continues to stand tall in the opening 7 or so minutes of this second period. Now Cleland takes a wrap check, absorbs one from behind as well, switches hands, and sends one over to the far side. Sean Evans awaiting that. Now Evans from distance, and a low save by Jeffrey.
Got to be better on that one, Ari Stevens. You got to know you're going to have help. Just don't allow him to pick up the ball. Clamp sticks.
And you and I were talking earlier about the frustration of some of these players like Brandon Cleland, who just get in your face in pretty much every shift, and it's so frustrating when they have success against you, and Brandon Cleland draws that interference call. As the Sioux have killed off the first penalty, just over a minute remaining in the unsportsmanlike call to Curtis Dixon. Sean Evans falls down to the turf, rolling around, somehow keeps possession. 3 defenders on him, and does a good job to kill more of the clock there. That is Sean Evans at his best right there, just eating clock.
Yeah, it's just so hard to get the ball out of his stick sometimes, especially when he has that low, solid power cradle. It's just so shifty as Sean Evans. Always has been, always will.
Now Johnson back at the point. No goals on this power play yet for Victoria, so they keep it around the perimeter. Johnson, skip feed over to the far side corner. Return now to Johnson. Has room, pulls it short side. Rebound falls towards him, but it's the other number 9 in Brandon Murphy who collects.
And Shatler puts the stop sign up.
Now Patrick Thompson takes a whack.
He had a nice game earlier today in the loss out of the back end. Hefty in transition, run on Matt Perry.
And doing a good job of killing the rest of this penalty here is Curtis Dixon. Now will rejoin the action. 3 to shoot. They get one in time. Jeffrey with one of his easier saves of the game thus far. And now Victoria looks for an answer back. No goals yet in this frame for the Shamrocks. Can they find one here? Some heavy checks around the perimeter, but the pass goes to the near side. Wade comes over top, looking far side, finds one down low. 10 to shoot. Shovel feed as we have another fallen Shamrock here in Jackson Boyd, slow to get up.
Yep, wear your cup, kids.
Sensitive area to say the least. But here come the Fighting Sioux.
I know I've said many times I love these Shamrock Blacks. How about the back design on these Fighting Sioux jerseys? The dream catcher encompassing the numbers. Those are sharp.
Now another opportunity and a save by Jeffrey. Does a good job sliding over, stacking the pads of sorts.
Back-to-back saves by Colin Jeffrey. Those are huge.
He's had a pretty good rebound in this period, I would say, after a little bit of a tough one in the first. Had that beautiful save to close out the end of the first period. Now here's room from distance. Fake shot.
He still got it.
And they score. How about that? Tyler Mace faked the shot. Wasn't entirely sure it was still in his stick, but once he realized, threw it towards the goal and gets Victoria their first goal of the period.
He almost faked himself out here. Didn't realize he had so much room as Shatler started creeping up the floor for some transition, and he's able to sneak it past Frankie. It was almost like he was in reverse. Took a couple steps back and then put some stank on that one. 7-5, 2-goal game almost halfway through. And Victoria just keeps hanging around.
It almost looked like the 2 defenders down low there, and Brandon Cleland and Brandon Murphy also kind of didn't realize that the ball was still in his stick because they also just stood there. But here come the Shamrocks, following another face-off win, courtesy of Matt Hermsen. And Drew N, with 1 goal in this game to this point, keeps possession alive. And we should get a goaltending break here, or just a break in general, when the next whistle does come. We've got under 10 minutes remaining here in the second period. There's a quick buzzer, but the Sioux did pick up possession, so we'll have to wait for that break to come in a couple of moments here. Here's Jeff Shatler getting the feed fresh off the bench. 15 on the shot clock. Evans rounds the corner off ball. Gets possession now. Comes over top of the screen. Flip pass down low. But unable to collect was Braden Boyenko. Now a lob pass goes up the floor. Christensen, quick up. Got a man streaking off the bench, but they'll slow up. One of those things that you were mentioning back in the first period, a little bit of maturity here for the Shamrocks. That shot just narrowly misses. Chiliano might have caught a piece of it.
Did.
Chalk it up as a save. Pass through the middle. Shoveler off the post.
Two glorious looks for the Shamrocks that time. Jackson Boyd trying to do his best Sean Evans impression.
Unbelievable what we've seen here in the 4th game of the day. Now Goya can't get a handle. Takes a check that negates him grabbing that loose ball, and Jeff Schattler out there for a defensive shift gets over center now in transition.
Maybe not be able to play a full game like he used to when he was in prime Calgary Roughnecks form, but he can still play a lot of lacrosse in 77.
That high lacrosse IQ proves to be massive for this team. Again, both these teams 0-2 coming into this game.
It's a big game for both teams, you know. 0-3, pretty much kind of see yourself on the outside looking in to the playoffs starting on Friday, but get yourself to 1-2 and you still got a chance.
Now Clellan receives that, waiting near center. I believe we're still waiting for that.
We are.
That whistle and the break to come up here. That pass from Clellan was just off the mark, so he'll just take it himself. Ends up on the wrong side. 10 to shoot. Evans kept it bay. Shovels one down to Dixon. Spins underneath, wants the drive to the net, finds some room, somehow gets a shot on target, and Jeffrey dropping down to one knee negates that chance, and here come the Shamrocks in transition. Byrne will slow things down. Watched on by Kaminsky. Byrne sends a bouncer across floor to Johnson. Now flip pass, one-timer, and it's in!
Good goal.
Wow.
What an extra look. Pass goes to Jackson Boyd. Big power step and then great vision to the backside. Nolan Morrison with his first. And Victoria's clawing back, now down 1.
That pump fake from Boyd, massive.
I think some NLL coaches might throw a flag there. Could have been creased, could have been off the inside of the post, but Jason Sauertuck calls a good goal.
As long as it's not a 3-minute review, I'm good with it.
Well, good thing, no reviews here. No overtime either in the round robin.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Do you think these guys want to play an extra 10?
No, but do you think the viewers want to watch a tie?
Yeah. If the last game ended in a tie, I think they all would have been happy.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris Kluche with that buzzer beater with 0.9 seconds to secure the victory for Allegheny.
We're 3-0 in this tournament. Won 3 one-goal games. Oh, that's a big hit from Clellan. And that will finally get us our goalie water timeout. But right now, the Fighting Sioux just kind of holding on to this one-goal lead, 7-6, with 6:11 to go in the period.
Yeah, the last 2 straight here coming from the Victoria Shamrocks, who took a little while to find the back of the net, but they have done that. Should get this in as well. I forgot to mention it off the top. The officials in this game, Braden
Tino.
Wilkins, Nate Chason, Herbie John. We got there.
Only 44 minutes late.
And a good opportunity here to pay a bill ourselves at BC Sports TV. We are seeking advertising partners to help keep lacrosse free for everyone. We have a number of advertising opportunities available, and together we can create a tailor-made package for you. Info at bcsports.tv. Contact us today.
Got to say, Colin Jeffries settled into this game after a bit of a tough first period under the barrage of shots from Sean Evans and Curtis Dixon and Jeff Schattler. And again, just like in the early part of that first period, once he settled in, it's allowed his team to settle in, and they've been able to claw their way back.
Yeah, I think it was that last second save that was kind of, changed the psyche a little bit. Reminded him that he is able to make those highlight reel saves and all the ones in between as well. He's had a pretty strong second period here. Set play here for Victoria as they find a man streaking through the middle now on his wrong side. That was Jack Bowie. And Cleland will take possession back for the Sioux.
Yeah, I think Victoria kind of wanted to run a clear out for Brody Wade, but wisely, Mike Kaminsky just kind of didn't pinch off the guy behind, just kind of stood at goal line extended, letting Brody Wade know, hey, if you're coming, so am I. And that kind of threw everything off for Victoria out of that timeout.
Now Evans from the corner. Flips one back. Heavy shot stopped by Colin Jeffrey, and they'll collect the loose ball themselves. Fresh 30. Sean Evans on his wrong side. Shovels one over to Schattler. Just sort of floated one looking to the near side low, just off the mark.
Got to be careful on the rollback from Dixon.
There is Curtis Dixon with a heavy sidearm shot coming over top of the screen, and Jeffrey got the better of that chance. Look out here as Sean Evans picks it off, looking for another one, and second chance here from Schattler, denied by Colin Jeffrey. That is a scary sight to see when you see Sean Evans all alone with all sorts of time and room.
And he had Jeffrey beat, but his skinny red friend saved the day, and then Jeffrey able to regroup and stone Schattler on the doorstep. Massive chance for the Fighting Sioux to regain that 2-goal lead.
And remember that save here for Victoria, depending how this one shapes up, or those saves, I guess I should say. The first one off the post, the second one, a big save for Jeffrey. And there's another one as the rebound ricochets over to the corner boards. Look up here as Byrne gets the pass. Takes a shot and scores! How about it for David Byrne? Have yourself a tournament.
What is going on for David Byrne right now? This kid is just showing so much moxie, running out of the back end. And brought a wry smile to Kurt Milosky's face. Might be texting me right now to get his information. But David Byrne, 2 goals coming in. He's got 2 goals in this game, both in transition. That time, just kind of stopped, found his range, and pulled it short side on Frank. And we're tied at 7.
Feels like it's just shoot till you miss time at this point for David Byrne. Everything he touches turns to gold when he goes in transition here. I mean, even just today.
Shoot till you're hot, shoot till you're not, David.
We are all squared up once again as Sean Evans with the dunk attempt and can't tuck it home. He dove from behind the net. Colin Jeffrey was out of position.
Unlucky there for Evie. Great opportunity, just not able to reach it far enough.
Now Dixon back to Evans, tries the dunk again. Tries the other side this time around. Jeffrey was there, and I don't think Sean Evans could avoid the crease that time. Now Victoria goes the other way.
Late cutter.
Because Christensen wants it. He sends it over to Johnson. Down to the crease. Shot. Stopped by Chiliano.
Huge save on the doorstep, denying Christensen.
Now there's Evans. Was waiting in that far side corner. Comes over top, halfway through the shot clock. Pass through, Schattler gets it on the run. No goal as he steps through the crease. Now a stretch feed goes up to who else but David Byrne on hat-trick watch. This time he'll stop up, leave for a teammate, head off for a change. Johnson, far side feed to Golia. Underhand feed back to Johnson, gets the pick and roll with Wade, shoots, and Chiliano gets that one stuck in his leg pad.
Probably could have flipped it to Brody Wade rolling off the pick. But a good look for Victoria trying to take the lead here.
Brody Wade with 5 goals in the tournament thus far. Excuse me, 6 after he got another one here in this game. Evans over to Dixon. That'll be an interference call. That'll go against Lyndon Cups. And here comes Christensen once again in transition. He tucks underneath, gets the shot off, looking to reach around Chiliano as he gets across. Got to be careful of that crease there as the Sioux head back the other way. Back check by McCulley. Gets back into a defensive set here, but he looks gassed right now for the Shamrocks. Here's Evans. Gets over top of the screen.
Hi,
Dixon
Ryan.
takes the feed. Dixon with the dip and dunk, and no goal. And Dixon can't believe it. He'll get called for in the crease there. And Victoria goes the other way and cashes in. Jack Bowie in transition. And Evans goes over to have a word with the official, and he is furious.
I don't know how far back the replay goes, Peter. Can we get the first one all the way back? No, too bad. But the Fighting Sioux are fighting mad, and Victoria has come back and lead at 8-7. And I think that's a bench minor. One of the Fighting Sioux, it'll be Victoria possession. I'm not sure who they're calling it on, whether it's head coach David Pym or Sean Evans or anybody else on the bench, but someone's going to have to come and serve this penalty.
Well, I could hear Sean Evans during that argument with the official, and he yelled, "That's a big goal." And he's right. I mean, under 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. Victoria now has a lead.
Sandus and Swiss will come and serve the bench minor. Who scored that last Victoria goal, Tino?
That would be Jack Bowie.
Oh.
How about it?
Second of the tourney.
Doing his best David Byrne impression. Now Johnson, skip feed over to the far side. Shot, fought off by Chiliano. Goes high in the air and into the corner. And the Sioux goaltender will take it away himself. Now Evans wants the feed. He gets it. Takes a shot. And Jeffrey shuts the door.
I love the little classic Evie no look as soon as he catches it. Just trying to catch the goalie off guard. But not a tough save for Colin Jeffrey. It goes right in the big wood stick. Now important power play here for Victoria with just over a minute to go. Chance to make it a 2-goal game.
They had that big save at the end of the first. Can they get a big goal here to continue some momentum? Golia back to Johnson. Fake shot, goes over to the far side crease. They go back again, and a great defensive play. Chiliano was out of position, but a defender takes it away.
Yeah, that was Aaron Walker holding the anchor on the back post. But they had Frankie down and out, but Jackson Boyd couldn't pull the trigger.
Now Golia back to Johnson. Does he want that far side skip again? He goes over to Golia. Looking near side, back to the point. Return to Golia again. He'll muscle his way through, get a shot off, and send it wide. Frankie doing his best to block the dunk attempt. Wade with the shot on top of the crease, and he can't put it on target. Now the Sioux got to go here. Still shorthanded, 14 seconds remain in the period. Lobbed over the center line, and that'll be the 8-second count going against the Sioux. 10 seconds remain. Victoria takes possession, and they're going to call timeout here.
Well, that's a good timeout, even though they had a guy all alone on top of Frank's crease. In a game like this, that's the proper time to call a timeout. Don't need to go 6-on-4 here. Can keep Colin Jeffrey in between the pipes. And let's see what Tim Dennett can draw up for his offense as Sean Evans has a few words with the officials, nice and calmly.
It's funny because a second ago, again, we can kind of hear him from up here, and very calmly you could hear him say, "Well, I'm mad then," which is, I don't know, kind of a funny juxtaposition, I would say. I mean, I think everybody's seen Sean Evans lose his cool here and there. He certainly seems like he's keeping his composure for somebody who just said, "I'm mad then."
If that's mad, I don't want to see irate.
No kidding.
But that's a good job by Sean Evans, just to go to the officials and get a good kind of explanation. And I think some of the referees in this tournament have done a good job at that. They're not pushing guys away. They're letting them come and have a conversation, and that helps de-escalate things. And just have that quick little conversation, calm things, smooth things down, and move on. And that's a good job by the officials.
Well said, Teddy. Shout out to the officials who've done a pretty good job here through the opening 2 days of the President's Cup. 10 seconds on the clock. Johnson's going to start things out. Still 5-on-4. Wade sends it behind the net. Fake pass through the middle. Dunk attempt. They score, but they'll say no goal. Maybe we can load that one up here as we get to the end of the period. That one, Colin Jeffrey almost looked like he didn't want to touch that as it ends up going off the crossbar. Let's take a look at that last attempt here from Victoria. I believe we'll get a look behind the net as well. There's the feed.
Oh, I think the right toe was on the crease first. But what a chance for Victoria to get it on. Camera's too close. Too close, Tino. Not going to see it.
One fake, two
They
fake.
had him.
Oh,
They had him. But that is a great job by the Shamrocks team. Down 2 halfway through the period. Colin Jeffrey settled in, made some saves, and then the Victoria offense went to work, and they'll take a 1-goal lead into the third period, leading the shots 42-29, looking for their first win in the President's Cup ever.
there is a big third period on the horizon. And I think it's safe to say you're not going to want to miss it. Tino Farah, Teddy Jenner here on behalf of BC Sports TV. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes' time. You're watching the 2024 President's Cup.
Embrace the unexpected. Cool Bet.
Ray,
Oh, what a look.
Davidson, inside roll, Dixon, scores.
Cleaner shift to Obang and crashing in front.
There's Ray, scores.
As dirty as they come, Jordan Durfee gets his first in the President's Cup. Picked it up. Goal face, scores on the run. Wade will set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores. Short side. Bushi. Shot scores. It's a 1-goal game. Gets it back. He'll shoot it. He scores. Big save. Scores. And we're tied.
We've had great fans. It's been really motivating for our guys. We want to put on a good product on the floor for the fans that are going to come here and spend their hard-earned money.
And as Martel slips it 5-hole. And his ball again down the middle. How did he hang on to that? Scores! Keegan Ball!
It's what they did in that room that turned the season around. I don't think we make that run without the support of the fans.
Here's Sean Beatties! And he scores!
What does it mean to be Canadian? It's toughness. It's grit. You know who bears the red and white. You know the history. You know the storylines, and you know its weight. I've been there. I know what it takes. It's preparation for domination. It's the brotherhood so you could. It's long nights and longer days. That separates the good from the greats. This is Canada.
That's fresh.
Ray,
Oh, what a look.
Davidson, inside roll, Dixon, scores!
Cleaner shift to Obang and crashing in front.
There's Ray, scores!
As dirty Durfee gets his first to the President's Cup. Picked it up. Goal face scores on the run. Wade will set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores. Short side. Bushi. Shot scores. It's a 1-goal game. Gets it back. He'll shoot and he scores. Big save. Cliche. Scores. And we're tied.
Embrace the unexpected. Cool Bet.
Ray,
What a look.
Davidson, inside roll, Dixon, Scarce.
Cleaner shift to O'Bang, crashing.
There's Ray, Scarce.
As dirty as they come, Jordan Durfee gets his first to the President's Cup. Picked it up. Goal face scores on the run. Wade will set a pick. Johnson shoots and he scores. Short side. Bushi. Shot scores. It's a 1-goal game. Gets it back. He'll shoot and he scores. Big save. Cliche. Scores. And we're tied.
We've had great fans. It's been really motivating for our guys.
We want to put on a good product on the floor for the fans that are going to come here and spend their hard-earned money.
And as Martel slips it 5-hole. And his ball again down the middle. How did he hang on to that? Scores! Keegan Ball!
It's what they did in that room that turned the season around. I don't think we make that run without the support of the fans.
Here's Sean Beatties! And he scores!
What does it mean to be Canadian? It's toughness. It's grit. You know who bears the red and white. You know the history. You know the storylines, and you know its weight. I've been there. I know what it takes. It's preparation for domination. It's the brotherhood so you could. It's long nights and longer days. That separates the good from the greats. This is Canada.
That's fresh.
Welcome back inside the Ladner Leisure Center here, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll fit in an ad read right off the bat here, shall we? Cool Bet, the official sports book of the 2024 President's Cup. Dive into the action today with all the best odds in lacrosse. Cool Bet, stay cool. Teddy, need you here.
Sorry, I was just watching Zach Christensen walking around pounding guys on the Fighting Sioux before we start this third period. Bet responsibly.
Thank you. There we go.
Speaking of cool bet, just chatting with Pat Gregoire. Already looking for me to get him some swag to bring back.
Of course. Wouldn't be a lacrosse tournament if there wasn't some pandering going on. And just a quick reminder as well, if you've been enjoying these highlight packages that you've been seeing pregame, through the intermissions, on social media. Ty Klarner is the man getting it done. One of the busiest men in lacrosse, and shout out to Shelly Fay as well, is currently over to my left. All the pictures you're seeing across all the socials. Of course, running the President's Cup socials as well. Hard at work currently.
Klarner's got to get to the gym. He's looking a little frail.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Eat some poutine, pal. Bulk up. Big period for both these teams, though, Tino. As much fun as we're having on the broadcast, this is a serious next 20.
And it is the Fighting Sioux with the first shot, and the first save goes to Colin Jeffrey, who's really settled in after, like we mentioned, a bit of a shaky first period. Second period was really solid. He had some strong, important saves for the Shamrocks, and he's got his first one of the period here as well, as those Shamrocks get their first offensive set of the frame. 50 seconds in. Here's Golia. Number 10 with under 10 to shoot. Stumbles back to his feet, still with possession, has an opportunity and scores! How did he get through to the middle? That might have been the slowest drive I've ever seen, but still sends it home, and Victoria has a 2-goal advantage.
A little tuck back, goes down to one knee, keeps his stick cradling, keeps his feet moving, pump fake, run by Frankie, put it far side, 2-goal lead for Victoria. Now, they were in this situation earlier in their first game. They had a 2-goal lead. They had a chance to put Snake Island away, but were unable to. Let's see what they can do here, as this Fighting Sioux team will continually go the full distance. And you know Schattler and company aren't going to want to go 0-3, as Cullen goes right to the rack and draws a penalty.
Well, that's a good way to answer back. And now put it into the hands of the power play to do some work. Because Curtis Dixon switches gloves. Maybe a little bit of luck in those ones.
What are those?
Switching mitts from the white ones he was wearing earlier.
Those look tiny. They don't look like your regular bulky lacrosse glove.
I do remember from my days as a young lacrosse fan watching Curtis Dixon play for the Maple Ridge Burrards. I do think I remember every third period he would come out with a new pair of gloves on.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. There's a one-timer from Schattler off the mark and into the netting.
Some guys are sweatier than others. Rodney Tapp used to change his gloves, socks, underwear, undershirt between every period.
And some people love that new glove feel. I know there's some that once they have a worn-in pair, that's the one pair they like. There's others that, as new of a pair as they can get, they'll use them.
And, there are those guys that just get given tons of apparel, and they have the freedom to
There's
be able
that
to
too.
switch.
We don't have that at the senior C level.
You guys should get a sponsor.
There's a drive shorthanded, a shot on target, and Chiliano already down, shuts the door. That was Jack Bowie looking for his second of the game.
Yeah, good take there by Jack. Trying to get underneath, but even better slide help from Matt Saunders and Mike Kaminsky, just collapsing on Bowie to cause the turnover.
Now Sean Evans. Back to the point, return feed to him near side. Takes a couple of whacks, retreats, but keeps possession. Dixon backpedaling away himself. Schattler down to the crease, shot and a goal. The one-timer on the power play cuts the lead down to 1.
That's a much-needed goal for the Fighting Sioux. Down 2, get a power play goal. And I believe that was 94 Sam Murphy on the doorstep. Great feed from Schattler. And there's so much attention paid to Dixon and Evans and Schattler that I think they have the opportunity to get those low crease guys a little more involved, especially on the power play, because everyone will be stepping up to the big three. So that's a great extra look from Schattler.
And certainly not necessarily in that must-score kind of territory, but that is a massively important goal for the Sioux to get things going early and cut the lead down to 1 after it was a bit of a run for the Shamrocks. Now they have some momentum back in their favor.
I think this game's going to go back and forth the rest of the way here. Again, 2 0-2 teams looking for their first win of the tournament.
And Evans sends one to the far side. A good answer back in the form of a save from Colin Jeffrey.
McCulley kind of got roped into missing that loose ball from Sean Evans.
There is Evans over to Shatler with room. Toe drag underneath, spins back over the screen. A backhand pass through the middle was deflected, and Jeffrey will take it himself.
Got McCulley up ahead. David Byrne will run it.
And why wouldn't he? He's got the hot stick.
Got the hot feet.
Here's Golia. Has one in this frame for Victoria. He's going to
Keep going,
drive
big
once
man.
again. Near side feed shot. Stopped by Chiliano. Golia battling for it. Absorbs a check. Kicks one free and keeps possession for the Shamrocks.
Yeah, good job by Golia to find that extra possession. And then Truin couldn't finish the pass from Jackson Boyd as he slashed through the middle.
Received that pass just a little bit higher than I think what he would have liked. Tough to get one on target from there. And the Sioux now will try to take advantage. Dixon comes over top of the screen. Gets underneath on his wrong side. He's going to draw penalty. Falls, gets a shot off. And Victoria will collect. Dixon a little slow to get up, but he will certainly stay out for this power play.
And this is where Victoria got themselves into trouble against Snake Island, was taking unnecessary penalties, allowing teams back into games. And this will be a holding call coming up to Ari Stevens. Got to find a way to stay out of the box. But the Sioux will take it every single time. And again, can they get those, like Shatler, Dixon, Evans, they're going to get their looks, Tino. But it's Toporowski, it's Saunders, Murphy, these other guys got to be able to capitalize if they get the looks.
And that's what we saw last time. This time we see Evans rip one low. Jeffrey gets the better of that attempt, and the Sioux will get the reset. Evans and Dixon will just play pass around the perimeter. Fake pass down low. Jeffrey was out of position for a moment, but now he'll reset, as will the Sioux. Now Dixon looking short side. That one caught a piece of a defender, and Shatler will collect. 10 to shoot. Near side crease feed. Dixon gets the loose ball cutting through. Now he'll spin back. Low shot off the foot of a defender. That one's going to sting.
Doesn't look like he's got a full head of steam for Davis McCulley. One-on-one with Evans.
Sean Evans, the lone defender. Now McCulley will turn back, as both Curtis Dixon and Jeff Shatler are going to wait in the offensive zone. Now Dixon will head off for a change for the time being.
And McCulley gassed after playing a long, short man shift and soaking that shot from Dixon.
Now Bowie gets cornered thanks to a double team. He'll leave in said corner and head off for a change. Now with the Sioux going back to work on the power play for the next 40 seconds or less. Evans casually into the zone. Got to be careful, almost a handball there is. They tried, or at least thought about the hidden ball trick. Unsuccessful. Evans keeps. Gets the screen. Far side feed. Shot fought off by Jeffrey.
Oh, numbers.
They got a 2-on-0 here as they get the quick whistle. Now going in alone is Benson. Fake shot and scores!
The Sheriff with a big goal for Victoria in transition. A short-handed marker to boot. Frankie got a piece, but it ends up trickling past him. Another one, I think an NLG coach might throw a flag, and I think he stepped in before it crosses the line. Close one.
Very close one. And Chiliano slow to get up there. Looked like he was shaking off something as his glove fell off. But remember, no backup goaltender. I mean, sort of.
They got one posing as one. Well, he actually is their backup goaltender, but he happens to have a broken collarbone.
Not
you heard that right.
Not ideal, we would say.
No. But again, it's kind of lucky that this was their double up day. As Stevens is out now.
Evans with a shot. Tried to catch Jeffrey sleeping, but he got over in time, and now here comes Stevens in transition. Full head of steam, one defender comes over. He switches hands and sends it just wide.
It's twice he's done that on breakaways.
He's just showing off at this point.
You got to keep it in your strong hand, Ari.
Here's Evans with his strong hand. Watched on from the perimeter. Late man feeds it back to Evans. Winds, fires, and a save with the stick of Colin Jeffrey. That'll be a reset here for the Sioux.
I don't think we're counting shots taken by players. Sean Evans got to be upwards of 20 in this game.
He had 4 goals early. That first period hat trick, tries the swim move, just avoids the crease. Pass was picked off by the Victoria captain.
Look at the legs on Shatler.
Here's Christensen. Feed through the middle. Shot and a save by Chiliano. Rebound goes over to the corner. Ball jarred free for a moment.
Shatler still got the speed. One of the fastest flat out during his time and showing the ability to get back and break up a 2-man transition break.
It's a couple of times in this game that he's had to go back in reverse transition and certainly doesn't look out of place when he's there. Savvy veteran. Speaking of savvy veterans, here's Curtis Dixon. 3 to shoot. Stick got knocked loose. That'll expire the shot clock, and Victoria will take possession back.
Good defensive shift there by the Shamrocks, especially Benson, one-on-one with Dixon.
Here's Drouin. Gets over top, had some space, but decides now to send it over to the righties to go to work. It's Wade, head up the whole way. Feeds Golia. Driving downhill. Shot looking short side. Chiliano gets over. Now Cleland battling, gets a little help from a teammate who just lobs that towards the center line. Victoria and Byrne bats one free.
That was a very high IQ play. Saw the man coming at him. Instead of picking it up and getting the contact, just batted it past him and pushed it up floor, sidestepped his man and kept possession.
Shades of a vintage Alex Ovechkin versus the Montreal Canadiens as Wade got dumped down to the turf, still battling for it. Still looking for it, but a Sioux defender will collect, and Matt Saunders.
Yeah, Brody Wade looking a little tired here, nearing the end of day 2. And that'll be an 8-second count on Standing Buffalo.
Now that pass through the middle turns into a 2-on-1. There's a shot and a save by Chiliano. Squeezes it between his glove and his hip. Long feed over to Dixon.
And Dixon was trying to play possum there as the pass was in the air.
It's crazy how he was, even as the ball was almost like right in front of him, he still kind of keeps his stick in such a limp position where he doesn't want to show his hand like he's going to catch it until it's essentially in the back of his pocket.
Yeah, that's what a lot of good NFL and CFL receivers do. Don't let the D guy know it's coming.
That shot by Drouin goes wide. High off the end boards. Cleland can't take it cleanly. Gets it off the dasher. Now will collect. Shot clock a little late to go, but will count on now. And the rest of the offense gets onto the floor here for Standing Buffalo. Adam Saunders takes a couple of wrap checks. He'll spin back as the shot clock goes down to about 10 seconds. Evans working with Dixon. Thought about the flip, backpedaling away. Good defense here by the Shamrocks as Evans wants the toe drag. He's going to go across, gets the shot off and scores! That's going to count. What a goal by Sean Evans. He's up to 5.
The Cool Bet sock trick parlay, not a real thing, but it still lives. And Sean Evans just continually does Sean Evans things. And that is just a strength play from Little Evie. Gets underneath the heavy check of Dylan Raymond. Keeps his feet moving, keeps his stick alive. And he buries that one past Colin Jeffrey. Bring it back to a 1-goal game. As we approach the halfway mark of this third.
Shots now 48-38 in favor of the Shamrocks, who lead by 1. And this has just been a heck of a game on tap here, especially following that last one that you and Jumbo called earlier in the day.
I don't know if we'll match the dramatics of that last game, but this is starting to get close to one of the better games of the tournament.
Two teams that do not want to leave this game 0-3. There's a shot from Dixon, and the game is tied. Vintage Curtis Dixon from distance.
Yeah, you knew those two guys were going to start to pick up their play here in the third period. Heavy shot load from Evans in the first 9 minutes. Dixon starting to get his legs underneath him, and you said it, Tino. Vintage Superman, hard across the top, one of the best elevator shots in the game. He can make that thing go anywhere. And Colin Jeffrey just maybe doesn't see this one cleanly as it goes around Toporowski. And we're tied at 10 with under 10 to play.
You need your best players to be the best when it comes down to crunch time. And Sean Evans and Curtis Dixon and Jeff Shatler in his own right have been exactly that.
Evans with 5, Dixon with 2, Murphy, Cups, and Saunders with singles. And the only 2-goal scorer for Victoria is David Byrne. They got singles from Benson, Mace, Bowie, Wade, Golia, Johnson, Morrison, and Druin. And the officials will reface it, but I think they're going to give the goaltenders their water break. Don't forget, coming up, 8 o'clock, Ladner versus Edmonton. Miners already played a game today. They beat this Fighting Buffalo team 14-1. And then tomorrow, day 3, starts at 11 a.m. Tino, we get to sleep in tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
How good is that?
Oh, baby.
11 a.m., Snake Island takes on Six Nations. 2 p.m., Standing Buffalo against Allegheny, the 3-0 surprise of this team. 5 p.m., Shamrocks and Miners. And then at 8, Pioneers, Rivermen, and Six Nations will do the double dip. I'll have the morning call with Jake at 11 a.m. Tino, you get like an extra long sleep, and you don't even have to be here till 2. How'd you work that?
I'll be here to run the computer for you guys. I'm not going to leave you hanging.
All right.
If you're lucky, maybe I'll bring you a coffee.
You're not as cool as Donnie.
Shout out John Donville for coming out west here for the Minto Cup a week ago. What a tournament that was.
Certainly was.
A lot of future NLL talent on display, to say the least.
9:49 left in regulation. A tie ball game between two 0-2 clubs.
Face-off win, and a big one at that, by Brandon Clellan. Will give possession back to the Fighting Sioux after 2 straight goals to tie the game at 10. Now McCulley, he'll slow up, turn back, and connect with Jack Bowie. He's on the hunt for his second of the game. So he finds his way rounding the corner, now far side feed. Pass to the near side, Drouin couldn't get a handle. Loose ball falls through the middle and taken back by the Sioux. Patrick Thompson finds Sean Evans. And you look back to that second period when we were talking about Sean Evans having a disagreement with the official. We saw the unsportsmanlike call that went to the bench. And the composure of Sean Evans when things could have got out of hand might prove to be a huge one as Dixon goes in and gets his second straight to give the Sioux their first lead in quite some time.
This is a lovely little set play between Dixon and Evans. Dixon sets the pick, pushes Christensen off his marker, and then just flashes right to the middle. And that's just a savvy play between two former teammates. And what a finish by Dixon. Just one catch release, short side on Colin Jeffrey. And what a comeback by the Fighting Sioux.
And I can finally be confident in saying that was a goal near the crease that was absolutely not in the crease. Feels good to be able to say that confidently.
We mentioned early on, Evie might have some tired legs this week in the first day. Well, he was at Kyle Sorensen's wedding on Saturday night, flew out late, and made it here in time for the Sunday game. So that's just warrior mentality if I ever seen it.
Couldn't make my wedding, huh?
I didn't even get an invite to your wedding, Tino, and I was here all week. Your second wedding of the month. I didn't get an invite to any of them.
There's a save by Chiliano. Again, going down a little bit gingerly. There's a dunk attempt from behind. That's a take.
Yeah, not a smart take from Jackson Boyd. You get a reset. Frank's well positioned in his posts. And I know you're trying to get your team back in this game, but sometimes there are better opportunities.
Might be that maturity factor coming into play a little bit here for the Victoria Shamrocks. As you mentioned, their first time here at the President's Cup. Now Evans with a low shot, falling back, or stepping back, I should say. Jeffrey gets the better of that chance.
Victoria's got to start turning the transition game on again. It's been one of their best assets in this tournament, especially in this game.
Here's Drouin. Stops up, looks far side, feeds Johnson. Now Wade. Heavy one from distance, blocked before it got through. He'll get his own, or excuse me, no, Johnson gets the rebound. Now Bowie with a rising one into the crest of Shiliano, who falls forward. I don't know why I'm saying Shilianu.
Well, nobody's perfect, Tino.
Nobody's perfect.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
You didn't have to think about that one. Nice that you and Kyle Sorensen got married in the same weekend. And shout out to Kyle Sorensen for tying the knot this past weekend. One of the good guys of the sport.
And me and Pat Gregoire legally tying the knot on the same day as well.
That's true. Why do you guys get married during lacrosse? I don't get it.
When your significant other works in the school system, you're a little limited.
Fair enough. Understandable.
Byrne takes possession.
Starting to get to crunch time for the Shamrocks, down one. Still lots of time, but time is slowly running out.
Ball gets knocked loose by a defender. Good stick check. Still up for grabs here as the shot clock winds down, and the Sioux will take it back. Going back over the center line. Good loose ball here by Brandon Murphy. Calmly gets over the center line.
Yeah, and it was Kaminsky who had the nice two-hand chop on Boyd to knock that ball loose, causing the turnover.
Now Sean Evans. Fake the pass. Keeps it himself and sends it to the near side. Boyenko. Through the corner, nice flip pass, gets through, and stepping through the crease was Adam Saunders. Now lob pass goes up the floor. James Spence. He'll turn back. Smart move to pull that one out as Drouin comes over top. Looking far side. Late man joining in is Wade. Now Bowie through the middle. Lob pass returned to him, gets one just off the mark as he was halfway through stepping backwards. Not all the power that he would have liked to get behind that shot. Off target as well.
Good defense there again by Standing Buffalo. Keeping Victoria to the outside. These youngsters like to bang and crash. Keep them to the outside, limit their opportunities here in the final five, and get your first W.
Evans and Dixon back out on the floors. Dixon backs away his defender, gets through the middle, loses the handle. So he runs into a double team, trying to draw a penalty, gets away, has some space. Shot from distance into the midsection of Jeffrey, and he'll hang on for a quick whistle.
Yeah, overtime, not too many guys better at drawing penalties with the old head snap back than Dixon and Evans. But the refs weren't biting that time.
Now Golia. Skip feed to the far side, down low to the crease. That could be a penalty. Nice shot attempt by Jackson Boyd. Got it on target as it goes off the foot of Shiliano and out of play. And Victoria is going to go back to the power play, something they've been successful in throughout this game.
Patrick Thompson will be heading off, and that's a good take from Jackson Boyd. Had Thompson on his back heels and just drove right into him. And unfortunately for Thompson, just nothing he could really do. Got that right arm wrapped around the left arm. Tried to keep it close to his body, but a little extra clutch there. And now Victoria to the extra man, looking to tie this up, trailing by one.
And this would be a huge power play goal if the Shamrocks can find a way to be successful here. They'll work it around the perimeter. Johnson running point as he does so often. Golia with a sidearm rip, stopped by Shiliano. And Solikoski hangs on to the rebound. Now Cleland spins through. Still with possession, a blind shot off the mark. How many of those shots have we seen in this game, Teddy?
17 by my count, Tino.
Unbelievable. Who knew you were keeping so close attention to it?
When wild things start happening, you notice that they're going to keep happening. But that was actually a good take from Cullen. Obviously short-handed, you want to kill some time, but kind of doing exactly what Boyd was doing, trying to draw that penalty. He did it earlier in this period, almost did it again.
Johnson at the point again, back to Golia. Had a lane, underhand feed to the near side crease. They pass it through the middle, and Wade has that one go just off the mark. Need a shot here, 3 to shoot. Shiliano stepping out. Gets enough of it. And I don't think he knows where the ball is.
He does, but he's also telling somebody from the bench to come and get it from him.
He'll leave for Schattler. Some fresh legs. Wade applying a bit of pressure here. Schattler sends a bouncer towards Evans. Looking to draw a penalty here as well. Not going to get one. Lobs one towards Schattler.
Brody Wade all the way down in the Fighting Sioux end, all by himself. Now, finally someone will realize and head back.
Dixon with a shot. And a left leg save, courtesy of Colin Jeffrey. Now 3 minutes remain in the third period. Victoria still looking to tie this game at 11. They have 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Late man joining is Jackson Boyd. Johnson here at the point. Seeing Golia switch spots for a moment, trying to cause a little bit of confusion. Now Boyd passes the middle. Golia robbed by Chiliano. His toughest test in a while.
Oh, and then they airmail it over Sean Evans' head. A bit of a forced pass there by the Fighting Sioux, seeing Evans out the front door. But now it is crunch time for the Victoria Shamrocks. Maybe one more change of possession before Colin Jeffrey starts heading off the floor.
And we are back to 5-on-5 as we get the flip pass down low, and Chiliano with another huge save. Dunk attempt, but jumping through the crease. Unable to avoid was Nolan Morrison. He'll head off back towards that Victoria bench.
Oh, off the flip pass, Morrison's got to keep going to the front of the net. Don't fade away.
Especially with some tired defenders still on after killing a penalty. There's a save by Jeffrey. He'll deflect that one over to the corner. Evans battling for it, tries to knock it free. Now under 2 remaining.
Good job there by David Byrne just to kind of box out Sean Evans from getting that loose ball.
Here's Benson. Going to stay and play an O-shift here. Comes over top, now drives low, pick and roll through the middle. Drouin and a stick side save by Chiliano. There's another shot sent just wide. Drouin applying some pressure here on the forecheck. Colin Jeffrey still in the crease here for the Shamrocks with 1:25 to play in the third.
That's a wasted possession for Victoria. You get the reset with 90 seconds left. Great opportunity to pull your goalie and go 6-on-5.
Here's Evans, content with killing some more of that clock here, down to 1:10. His team leading by 1. Evans, one hand on his stick, drives, spins back, fakes the backhanded shot, throws one towards the goal, and Jeffrey got enough of it.
Big loose ball.
And it falls towards Sean Evans. Victoria comes up with it, or at least still running onto it. No timeout here. Jeffrey still in his crease, 50 seconds remaining. Victoria looks a little unaware of the situation here. No timeout coming. 40 seconds remaining. We'll stay 5-on-5. Now Jeffrey heading towards the bench. It's a little late, though. 13 seconds remain on the shot clock. Far side feed. One-timer and a great save by Chiliano. Are we going to see a timeout now? Victoria grabs it. Now they'll call a timeout with 26 seconds remaining. Man, oh man. If we had a camera in the booth, you would have seen a frustrated Teddy Jenner.
Well, at the end of the day, it's going to work out. They're going to get last possession, but that's where it's kind of talking about game management stuff. I understand there's still time, and you can always hope to get the ball back, but you never know if you're going to get that rebound off that shot, and you could have just left a timeout in your pocket. Luckily, it works out for them, and now they'll pull Colin Jeffrey, but
it looked like an abundance of miscommunication or a lack of communication going on, I guess is a better way of putting it. Jeffrey staying in his crease. Looked like I was looking over the bench for most of that and didn't really see anybody facing in his direction saying, when to come or come now or anything like that until they did get that loose ball near center. But if you are the coaching staff of the Shamrocks now talking to the offensive unit, who's your trigger man here?
I'm looking for an inside seal for Brody Wade cutting through the middle. 6-on-5 here. 3 lefts, 3 rights.
And Brody Wade with 6 goals in this tournament, including 1 here in this game to lead his team in that category.
They'll put Tyler Mace behind the net just to keep the defense honest, but big moment here for Victoria. Chance to tie it late, and they're going to shut off Golia.
10 seconds remain. There's Wade through the middle, and he can't get it on target. And that'll go cleanly out of play. The Sioux are going to call a timeout here. And that might be curtains for the Shamrocks. They got the look they wanted. I think Wade wanted a penalty as well. We'll get another look at it. It was essentially exactly how you drew it up.
Yeah, high seal for Brody Wade. He rolls to the middle, gets the pass, and then watch the defensive play here late by Kaminsky. Maybe could have called him for a hole, but I don't think the referees are making that call with 15 seconds remaining. And Brody Wade just looking up to the heavens right now. Not sure where he's walking to. So they're going to keep him on the floor. They'll have Christensen and Byrne double the ball. And everybody else will match up. Colin Jeffrey will stay on the bench. McCulley said to Brody Wade, hey, you cover Shatler. And Brody was like, are you kidding me? You go cover up. I got Evie. So Dixon with the ball, one of the best at sprinting out of his own zone. And he'll go back into behind his crease. Got to be careful of the 8-second call here.
7 seconds on the clock, and he's going to, or excuse me, Victoria's going to have 5.7 seconds.
Victoria's got to hustle here.
Absolutely.
Confusion on the Fighting Sioux bench.
McCulley lobs one. There's Boyd from distance. 2 seconds to go. The shot goes wide. And a reaching David Byrne just could not quite reach the rebound off the end boards. It was a back and forth affair, but it is the standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux who will leave this game with a record of 1-2. And the Shamrocks will move on to 0-3, their second loss of the day.
And that's a huge win for this Fighting Sioux team coming out of the PGLL and to be in their first ever President's Cup, playing the double. Had a very tough outing in the first game, only scoring 1 goal without their 3 stars. And now getting their first win, a hard-fought first win. They were down in this game, in this period, by a pair. And then Evans and Dixon did what they do best and brought their team back into the fight. And they take it 11-10. What a game. Shots 56-44 for Victoria. But they fall 1 goal short in what was another fantastic game here on day 2.
Yeah, 46 save performance from Frank Giuliano. Again, if you missed it earlier, more or less the lone goaltender here for the Fighting Sioux. And now if you're in charge of MVPs here, Teddy, what do we think?
Well, it's Sean Evans for sure.
Yep.
For the Fighting Sioux. For Victoria, I kind of like David Byrne, had a pair of goals, great in transition, great defensively. He was probably their best player all around. I know Brody Wade had a solid game, but just everything that David Byrne on the back end in transition was just MVP worthy.
Yeah, hard to disagree. And I got to imagine as well, like, I know we've been giving some love to Colin Jeffrey in, the second half of this game. I think if he has a stronger start, if he has a better first period, he could be in contention there as well. I do really think he settled in the second half.
Did. And especially coming off the opening game where he's pulled after, I think, 5 or 6 minutes. And then he didn't get off to a hot start tonight, let the first couple shots in off the stick of Sean Evans. And then he did really settle in. Had a bit of a tough stretch halfway through the second, but again, settled in, allowed his team to battle back, was great in the first 15 minutes of the third, but there's only so much you can do to stop Evans and Dixon in a game like this, especially on fresh legs were those two. Don't forget, Ladner, Edmonton in the nightcap. Yourself and Jake Elliott will have the call to end day 2 at the President's Cup, and it has been full value.
Yeah, you're done now.
Can you tell?
And let's go down to the on-floor announcements here for the MVPs.
We'll give it to Curtis Dixon with the game winner. Evie got robbed.
Curtis Dixon with a strong finish to the game.
Indeed.
I believe he's got the game winner.
And it is David Byrne for the Victoria Shamrocks, who continues to be a standout for this Victoria team. Some of the best lacrosse I've seen him play, and that was maybe his best game of the tournament. I actually thought the last game was his best game of the tournament, and this one was even better. His two fantastic mustachioed men get MVPs to end this one.
I was just going to say, pretty solid day for the likes of David Byrne. But let's wrap this up here, Teddy. You got to get out of here. You've had a long day at the Ladner Leisure Center. So, on behalf of the entire cast of characters up here in the booth, for cameraman extraordinaire George Parra, for Peter at the computer, for Teddy Jenner, my co-host here beside me, I've been Tino Farah. We've been BC Sports TV, and we will see you shortly.